Guys, today we're going to do an introduction to animal breeding for Arden. Uh, this is going to assume you've watched my animal training videos. I'll put a link to it in the description. But I'm using the wooden barn here. A lot of this information I got from my homie Mad Clown, so shout out to him. He says the best barn to use is the wooden barn. As of right now, there's this large barn that's bugged. Let's see. The biggest barn is bugged, so we'll just say that. I don't know which one that is, and I don't want to spend all day looking around for it either. But anyway, you can try it out later. For now, as far as per animal as you can store and per square it takes up, the first level barn is the best thing. All right, you can store some of these hand carts in here. You can't stack them, at least not there on that hay stack. I tried, you can't. So you get some extra storage. And out on here, right now there's a bug if you put a container on top of something that's not at least a slate road. Marble road works as well. Stone road does not. The container will start to degrade, and some of my homies have even told me the things in it will start to degrade. So maybe by the time you watch this, that'll be fixed. Who knows? But anyway, I like to keep my wagons outside of the things just so, for organizing, you can do you. And then I like one for breeding and one for raising the animals. I think 50 water is a good place to start, and then pile on the food on top of it. You want to use straw, not anything else to feed them. Doesn't matter what kind of animal it is. All right. And you just throw the animals in there. Just hold down control and then left click on them, and they'll pop over in there or pop out. If you should want to slaughter one, I recommend you wait until they grow up. Just highlight it and click slaughter, and then you will slaughter them. When it comes to getting milk or whatever, you press K to get this up. See, it says harvest milk for cows. Then you will go to the stable where you raise the cows, and if it's that season, there'll be a little thing here. For some reason, pregnant cows do not give milk, which is stupid, but whatever. Alright, so that's that. 50 water lasts about 8 hours in my experience with for the cows anyway. When there's like 5 cows in there, that's how long it lasts. And that's something you got to keep in mind. If say this was a stable, I don't want to go down there, just pretend with me. Imagination. If this was a stable, there's a 10 animal capacity, and say I got 5 pregnant cows in there, that's really too much, because somehow in Arden, cows magically have more than one baby cow, calf, heifer, whatever. In real life, we just call them calves in United States. We don't call baby, female calves, heifers. At least I didn't, and I grew up on a farm. We just called them calves, no matter what they were. All right, so somehow magically the cows have more than one calf, more than one baby. Okay, so if you got 5 pregnant cows over here, yeah, you can do that for a few 4 or 5 IRL days. But after that, you better lower it to like 3 calves, because they're going to start popping them puppies out. And if there's not enough room for all the puppies over here, then you're going to get little messages that says calf has died because there wasn't enough room. And yeah, that message is really fun the first 3 or 4 times, but after that, no, not so much. So yeah, keep that in mind. And there's this little button right here that you can use for pairs. I suggest putting the animals in here two at a time, just the male, then the female, and then pressing this and pulling them over so you don't get confused. I mean, unless you can tell the difference between this one and this one. To me, they look the same, even though one of them is a mountain ram and the other one is just a regular ram. It's a yeah. But for some reason, three breeding pairs has not come up. But anyway, supposedly this makes them into breeding pairs so that they won't get their wires crossed. Does it really work? I don't know. Does it make them breed any faster? I don't know. But there you go. There's that button. For real, you don't want to put any of your hundos in here with any of your lower levels. Don't take no chances because this game has got more bugs than Joe's apartment. No lie. You can see I got my sheep and my regular ram. They are the lower levels, and the rest are mountain sheep, mountain ram. They're all hundos, so even if something goes wrong, it can't go but so wrong. All right, and as soon as these mountain sheep or the regular sheep get pregnant, the rams come out. There's no reason for them to be in there. Even if I'm waiting for, you see, when it's, come on, when it's cotton season or whatever that is, I forget what do you call it, what you get from sheep, wool, yeah. Yeah, yay me, buy an encyclopedia. Even when it's wool season, you can't just slam your sheep in there and be like, harvest, 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 clicking the harvest button and thinking you're going to get your wool. No, you're not. You got to leave them in there for a while, which means they get older, like that dude in Indiana Jones in The Last Crusade when he drank out of the wrong cup. So I'm not going to be doing that, leaving them in there until I get a bunch of sheep and I can afford to let that happen. But you do you. All right. You can get wool off a pregnant sheep. I forget if you can get it off the baby sheep. Rabbits is pretty similar, so you don't need me to show you that. The off season, breeding off season, I wouldn't mess with that until you get a lot of animals to spare. Okay, I've heard a lot of things. I'm not gonna like talk to you about rumors. That's just a waste of time. The only thing you ain't got to worry about is rabbits and chickens, unless you're trying to make the stars go up. All right, if you just want more of them, put your rabbits and chickens in the cages, and you'll have more. But obviously, that's going to age them. But the rest of them, yeah, there you go. Now over here, we'll let you see the cows, which are in the small stable. Don't forget you gotta clean your stable out or your barn or whatever, which is this button. You can't do it unless you got one. So if it's point .9, you can't click the button. So don't be like, why can't I click it? It's because it's got to be at least 1 point whatever. All right. So you see here, I got my animals 4 out of 10. I don't want any more in there than that. Because this pregnant cow, I don't know how many calves it's going to have. All right. Now, in order for this, you see it's got quality 23. If I want it to not go down in quality, if I want it to have babies that are higher quality, I got to have good quality food in there. the hundo water and a lot better food than it is. Like I say, straw is the best one. And I recommend you have a wagon close by to store your food and water in, if not a grain storage. And then over here, I got a place for the calves to grow up. So you can, fill this one up all the way because the calves are not going to, have babies. The only other thing I'll say is, if you think you may have a long day at work or something, if you got some kind of job where, you could get pulled in for a late shift or you may not know, then don't leave your animals in the stables or the barns, because you're going to come back and find stars off, or you're going to come back and find messages of they have died. All right? Fun the first 3 or 4 times, not after that. Take them out, put them in the wagon. All right, smash that like button, homie, because I really wanted to make a video on another game, but I said, yeah, most of my active subscribers are probably for Arden right now, so I'll make an Arden video. So y'all show me I did the right thing and show some love.